To General Vi, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your AMC team. They have done a wonderful job through this, and we could not be more pleased. We have in Huntsville a storied history with the U.S. Army. Over 60 years ago, this U.S. Army brought a group of German scientists to Huntsville, Alabama. That was a second place prize for us. We were in the running for the wind tunnel competition, which ended up in Tullahoma, Tennessee, and they said, we will give you some German scientists as a second place prize. Those German scientists later took us to the moon. They developed our missile systems, and they developed a high-tech community, which we have here today. We have a storied AUSA chapter here. Our AUSA chapter is a most decorated chapter, and being one of the most decorated chapters, it has its challenges. When we go to the national conference in Washington, we have to wear badges that look like this. It makes it very hard to walk around the conference and see people there, but this is something that we are very proud of. Our most decorated, we constantly are in competition for best chapter of the year. I think last year we shared those honors with Fort Hood, and I am very, very proud of our AUSA chapter because it is one of those that has been known as chapter of the year for probably 9 out of the last 10 years. Back in the 60 years ago when we had those German scientists come in, they came in and started a missile defense program, which today has turned into Missile Defense Agency, into SMDC, has turned into something that provides a job base and economic base, but also protection for the United States of America. And it's something that we are very, very proud of. While I mentioned SMDC, Kevin Campbell said don't forget to mention that we do have a Space and Missile Defense Conference in August of this year, which many of you will be at, which is a great way to highlight some of the things that we do here in this community. But we also, those German scientists came to us and they said, listen, we've got to do some things that you don't see in other communities. And this was 50 years ago. They said, we need a research park. And so we started building, the city of Huntsville started building a research park. And today we have the second largest research park in America, the fourth largest research park in the world. They said, we need an engineering school because we're going to need a workforce that can provide for high-tech capabilities, that can provide for missile defense, that can provide for us to put man on the moon. And we started an engineering school called University of Alabama in Huntsville. Those German scientists started a lot of things in our community, and we have built upon that foundation. In building on that foundation, we have expanded Redstone Arsenal. Today, Redstone Arsenal employs 35,000 people, has over 70 tenant agencies there, all the alphabet soup you can think of, FBI, everybody across the board. And it's also the storied home for AMC. AMC moved here in September of last year, of 2011, and that move was one of those tenuous moves. And that move was part of what we called Team Redstone. We work together with the Arsenal on a day-to-day basis. We work with them to make sure that we are a team, that we as a community team with the Arsenal to make sure that we have the best arsenal that we can have in America. And 4 years ago, we recognized the need for general officers' housing, and we worked with the Arsenal to be able to put in general officer housing on the Arsenal. We still have 3 houses left to build. Through that process, we worked through the legal process of it. I never knew that most of the legal attorneys in the Army's first name was Dan, but we found quite a few things in that process that were challenging, but we were able to make it happen. 2 years ago, we started building a road across the Arsenal, or east-west access across the Arsenal, and doing it with city funds because we recognized that that was an internal need of the Arsenal and that would help us as a city, help us to grow. We've gone into partnership at the EUL, and the EUL property is now known as Redstone Gateway. We partnered with the city of Huntsville and a private developer and the U.S. Army partnership together to put together development that would provide 4.2 million square feet of office space. Right now, Boeing is the first tenant out there, and you probably saw the 3 or 4 buildings that are up right now. 4 buildings down, 38 more to go. And I'll always fondly remember those days when we were putting the EUL together, and our senior mission commander was General Jim Miles there. And General Miles took the private developers and the city of Huntsville officials, including myself, and the Army folks who were working this project, and didn't think that it was moving fast enough. So he locked us in a conference room. And he locked us in a conference room, put armed guards at the door, and gave us MREs, which, Jim, I still have one of those MREs. If I can return it to you, it'll take care of us when we do inventory later on. He gave us MREs, and he gave us a jug of water and styrofoam cups and said, "You're not coming out till you have a deal." Needless to say, by the end of that day, we had a deal. We started on our development of 4.2 million square feet of space at Redstone Gateway, and the rest of it's history. We're now starting to build one of the largest office parks in the EUL process. We also work with Redstone on a daily basis because it's our economic engine. That economic engine provides work for 35,000 people in Madison County and a 14-county area all the way across North Alabama. That 14-county area goes all the way into South Tennessee at times. When Lincoln Davis was in Congress, we would go up there regularly to tell him that we were his largest employer. More people woke up in Lincoln Davis's district in South Tennessee and came to Huntsville, Alabama to work at the Arsenal and then go home at night than any other employer that he had. And we reminded him of the economic impact that Redstone Arsenal has. $16 billion a year comes through that arsenal and is administered out throughout this region and throughout the United States. But more important, we are very, very proud of the history of Redstone Arsenal in protecting the warfighter, protecting those men who are out there working for us, protecting our way of life, those people who are in Afghanistan, those people who are in Iraq, those soldiers who are on the field. That is one of the most important missions and functions that we have. Beyond all the missile defense agencies, beyond all the graphs and the flow charts and everything else that we do, protecting those warfighters is our job. And we are very proud to be a partner in that job and to be part of Team Redstone to do that. You see on the screen, we say Huntsville, a smart city on the move. We brand ourselves as a smart place. More engineers and degree professionals than anywhere else in the U.S. per capita. Now, as an elected official, some days having more engineers than any other place is a good thing. Some days it calls for flow charts, graphs, and lots of PowerPoints, and it's not so good a thing. But it is a storied history that we have here. Forbes magazine named us one of the top 10 smartest cities in the world. And I always tell everybody we use our elected officials to hold down the front end of that bell curve. But today our future is bright. AMC is settled in place with the great leadership of General Vi. Army Aviation is in place. Missile Defense Agency is in place. SMDC is doing a great job across this country and throughout this world. And NASA is building a heavy lift rocket that will take man back into deep space. And NASA is one of those partners. That's a spinoff of those German scientists who came here over 50 years ago to build rockets. And then they built big rockets that took man to the moon. Let us put some footnotes in the history pages. And then they came and they decided that we would do more than that. And we've taken NASA from that stage to the stage now where we are building a heavy lift rocket that will take man into deep space. Whether we go to the moon or to an asteroid or whether we go to Mars, that decision will be made later, but we will have the rockets that can be done with, and they will be developed here in Huntsville, Alabama. You know, I want to thank AUSA for coming to Huntsville, Alabama. This has been one of the highlights of our year. We've had a good week this week. In city government, you work a long time, and it's much like the process of somebody getting married. You have a lot of little parties, you have a lot of things that happen to you, and then you finally come up to the day of the reception, the day of the wedding, and after the wedding, you wipe your brow and say, wow, I'm kind of glad that's over with, but it was a great event. Well, this week's been one of those great events for us. First of the week, we had Remington announce that they would bring 2,000 jobs to Huntsville, Alabama. And that's the same Remington that makes the M4 that my city administrator, who was formerly of the Arsenal, said that he carried all the way through Iraq and Afghanistan. And we're very proud to have them coming to this community. Tuesday, we announced the 3 millionth motor engine made by Toyota Manufacturing. They've done their 5th expansion here and just finished their 5th expansion and doing the V6 engine. We're the only place in the world that four Toyota motor engines are being made under one roof, and we have produced 3 million of them. And they want to make us the motor capital of the world. We like being the rocket capital of the world, motor capital of the world, and also we'll be the Remington capital of the world. We'll take them all. But it's been a good week, and then to cap off the week, to have AUSA here, to have the people here who make sure that that warfighter's safe, to have the industry here who make sure that our country is safe. We want to say thank you. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do for our community, for our nation, for our world. You are the ones, are the peacekeepers. You keep this country safe. You make it where I can sleep well at night. I don't have to worry about my population. And you also make sure that we are one of the strongest countries in the world. Thank you for coming to Huntsville, Alabama. Welcome to Huntsville, Alabama, and you honor us by coming to our city. Thank you very much.